Hey guys, what's up? This is Panzer Dragon, and today we'll be doing patch 4.21 rundown of the changes and telling you my insights and what I think will be like meta or whatever, or like seeing if it's viable or not, and just telling you what the big changes are and how I feel about them. We won't be going over the bugs because those are really minor things, and I don't feel like they impact the game as much as like number changes and stuff like that. But with all that being said, let's get started. So, rek'sai is coming out, Azir gets some bug fixes, yada yada. Cassiopeia gets a big, I'd say it's a pretty, okay, it's just a big change. So basically, she gets her stacks every 6 seconds or 10 times per minute, or 100 times per every 10 minutes. So at 10 minutes, you get 100 stacks, which is right here. You get her first buff. I don't remember what it was, but basically, I like this change a lot. It's definitely a buff, because what would happen is if you got shit on in lane and you were 0 and 3, how would you get poison stacks? The only way you could get these stacks was by either hitting champions or with poison, or killing minions with auto attacking them and last hitting them. I think, I'm not sure, but yeah, since you're behind, what would you trade with the enemy? Probably not, because he's gonna kill you or outtrade you, so you wouldn't want to trade and get the poison on them. So it was really hard for Cassiopeia to get back in the game if she couldn't do that. She can be aggressive, but with this change, she can be more like, you know, passive and not get her ass kicked until like 50 minutes. So I like this change. Finally, 20% movement speed. I don't think it's that big of a deal. She's still really good chasing, you know, getting her fangs and Qs and whatever nuts. And right here, this is a big buff. So it's kind of a minor buff, I'd say, because it only applies to Q. I mean, it applies to W, but W has such a low base damage, and I think AP ratio, and no one's going to stand in a miasma for that long. So I'm going to say it applies to Q mostly, where Q actually has a big AP ratio onto it. But anyways, basically this is what's going to happen. So you're going to use your Q, and then you're going to use your 2 fangs onto the enemy since you poisoned them, and then since the DOT is still going from the Q, you'll probably apply the 40% more poison damage against the enemies, and if you land another Q, that's even more damage. So her trade potential seems very high, and honestly, with this change, we'll go over more. So mana change goes down too, and the AP ratio, whatever, 0.5, that's whatever. But with all these changes, I think you might be seeing her more, since she's a bit more consistent, and her late game scaling is really, really, really strong. I also think this works with Teemo and Singe, but I'm not sure. Next topic, Cho'Gath. So, basically, when you kill a minion or monster, it's a 40-second cooldown on his ultimate. But if you kill someone, or just use it in general, and it doesn't kill it, well, it's gonna go at 80 seconds, aside from 60 seconds. So basically, it's fine, because if you're actually gonna kill someone, then this 80 seconds. But if you want to get the buff, you know, 150 health or whatever, then finally it's going to go to 40 seconds, and you can be super big and get quicker to being super big. But is Cho'Gath, you know, viable after this change? Probably not. I really don't like him. He doesn't really do any damage. Like, say if he lands a rupture onto an AD carry, he's just gonna take it. I mean, if no one follows up on his rupture, then what's he gonna do to the AD carry? He doesn't really have that much damage. I mean, the silence is there, but it's really hard for Cho'Gath to get to them, since he's really easily kiteable, and he's just clumsy. I don't like him. So yeah, I mean, don't play Cho'Gath. I mean, the only reason I'd play Cho'Gath is to get 6 stacks, get level 16, and get that new item called the Potion of Iron or something, and get really super big, and also have Lulu on my team. But that's about it. I don't think he's that great. Alright, so Corki is the next thing we're going to be talking about. So Corki's Corki is one of the most dominant AD carries right now. Just because Lucian has been nerfed, Tristana has been nerfed, Kog'Maw has been nerfed, and who else did they use? I think there's another dominant. I guess Graves? I don't know, but I'm not sure. But basically, Corki is like number 1 right now, and it was, well, number 1 in the previous patch. I'm not sure about this patch, but basically, I think this is adding more to counterplay. So let's say he's going to auto attack Q, Lucian, or Vayne. Finally, they have like more reaction time to avoid this Q and counterplay the Corki and like out trade him. So that's what I'm thinking this is going to do. So basically, his early game got kind of nerfed, but his mid game, late game still there, since no one would dodge a Q in a team fight. Since it's just like, meh, if I get hit by it, well, his auto attack plus Triforce proc is probably going to hurt more. And so yeah, that's there's a minor nerf. I still think he's going to be really strong, of course, but his laning phase got weakened a bit. You might see more counterplay. So just I think this is a bug fix-ish. No, it just says her ult resets if she does get interrupted in her dash. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Though this is a really rare case that this happens, so don't really see it as a buff that much. Alright, so Fiddlesticks. Basically his passive kind of got reworked. What's going to happen is, I read it and I said, okay, how's this change him? Then I kind of understood it more. Basically, if you're going to use your drain on someone and say it does 75 damage, well, what's going to happen is it's going to do 75 damage and then it's going to do 90, 90, 90, 90, because it says when you're dealing magic damage, that's when it applies the debuff. So right after that, you get the 10% magic resistance lowered onto the enemy. So in team fights, obviously, some people will avoid the Crow Storm and not be affected by this passive, but you know, some people will, and it's going to be the same thing. So let's see. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter for Fiddlesticks because all his damage are in ticks. The only thing it would matter for is his E, because that's kind of bursty. Like if you max D for some apparent reason, then yeah, that might hurt, but no one maxes E, and it's all your damage coming in ticks, it's fine. Now this one basically says it prioritizes targets not yet hit by Dark Wind, which is kind of cool. Since they removed the silence, the second part of the silence, and honestly, that was probably the most annoying thing about Fiddlesticks was when you would like E someone, silence that guy, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to be unsilenced in this amount of seconds, and all of a sudden it bounces back to you, and that's a 2.4 seconds silence. Potentially 3.6 if you're in a 2v2 situation. So, you know, it was really strong because of that. And finally they removed it, but added 0.5 seconds. Actually 1.5 would probably be strong, but I think they're just trying to get rid of the silence in general, or tone it down a bit. But yeah, with all this changes to Fiddlesticks, I think he's still going to be strong since they didn't nerf his drain damage or his R damage, and his R is the most game-changing ability part of him, and why he's a really good solo queue pick, because if you're behind and you get a good ultimate, you're going to win the game. And he also scales good into the late game too. Okay, so next up is Galio. So your taunt is no longer reduced by tenacity. So usually when I talk about Galio, I always compare him with a Mumu. Basically what a Mumu has is a gap closer and a stun, and like it's basically a 3-second stun on one single target, so that's really good. While Galio, he only has his E to gap close onto people, and then that's how he can use his ultimate. Now when we're talking about Flash, Galio most of the time will need his Flash, while Mumu only needs his Q, and then he can use his ultimate for a better positioning with his ultimate. Wait, no. He can use his Flash for a better positioning with his ultimate. So yeah, Mumu kind of beats him in the CC or initiating, but you know, the great thing is you can't walk all of his ultimate anymore. That means, you know, if you had tenacity and say you were Nunu, no, that's a bad example. Oh, Garen, kind of, yeah. So you're Garen, you have Mercury treads, and then he taunts you. Finally, you can't do, you know, the silence and interrupt him. Also, the best example I can give is Aurelia. So she has 80% tenacity. Then she E's him at like what, 0.5 seconds of him channeling, and then he's done. So no more, you can't do that. Yeah, that's a pretty big buff, honestly, because now he can't get interrupted, no one can walk out, and he can get his full damage off his ultimate, which is 616 plus his AP ratio, while Mumu has 350 and 80 AP and an 80 AP ratio. So if we can get this full channeled ultimate at level 16, that's gonna do a lot of damage, I think. Also the damage, wait, yeah, okay, I read it. So yeah, I think you're gonna see him more, but he's gonna be more of a niche pick against magic casters. So if you see Rumble, Orianna, Elise, that's the only time I'd see him being played, and probably competitive or something, like a counter pick kind of thing. Okay, next up we're gonna be talking about is not Jarvan, just some weird thing. So Jax, 18 second at level 1 to 16 second. This is what you're gonna have from level 1 to 14. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, 14, I think. I don't know. I'm not good with numbers, but yeah. So this is gonna be your Counter Strike cooldown is gonna be 16 seconds from level 1 to 14, and then finally when you're level 18 is 8 seconds from 10 seconds. So when I'm looking at this, is basically you're gonna jump in onto someone, stun them, and then since you're gonna stun them, and then after you're gonna pop your ultimate, and since your ultimate lasts 6 seconds, right after you're gonna have your Counter Strike back up, and you're gonna be tanky for like that 10 seconds of having 2 Counter Strikes and your ultimate. That's the only way I'm looking at it, and of course, he just has more invulnerability time. But right here, the 80 ratio of his ultimate goes up by 0.2. So this isn't the so this is it compensates for the early game. I mean, I feel like the early game is going to be the same, but the late game is improved, so that's pretty good. But it's only 5 armor. Same with this one. It's only 5 magic resist. It's not that much. The only reason Jax isn't played is because they nerfed his health and scaling health, so he doesn't like come back from the game as hard. And I think he lost about 800 gold worth of stats because of that nerf, or 1800, one of the two. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Basically, I don't think he's going to be viable. People will start trying to pick him up, but his early game is still really bad, or his early game is still what kind of makes him and it takes him a while to get into the late game. So, I mean, if they want to fix Jax, they better fix his early game a bit and make him not fall off hard when he gets dumpstered in lane. So right here, Jace, I don't know anyone who abused this. Basically, hypercharge now goes on cooldown after 3rd shot rather than right on the cast. So I never knew anyone who abused this. Basically, what they're saying is you could have got 6 hypercharged attacks on one person if you did it right at the say when it was about to go off. Your W would hit someone, and then 1, 2, 3, and then your W would be on off cooldown because you're waiting for it, and then that's 6 damages of hypercharge. So I never know anyone who abuses. In fact, I never knew that I could do this when I played Jace, but I mean, in team fights, if people did this in team fights before when I didn't know about it, then yeah, it's going to be a big change if people are doing it like competitive and all that stuff. Alright, so next, Cannon, the time between strikes is 0.25 seconds at all ranks. This is actually only for team fights. This one is just for single-handed. So what's going to happen is he's going to have a level 6 ultimate when striking the same person always. So this doesn't change. Oh wait, so this doesn't change. He just gets his stun off more consistent stuff. This one is the biggest change I like. Basically, if someone ran out of your W range while you were casting it, it wouldn't proc and you'd lose energy, which was really frustrating to deal with. But honestly, the biggest reason I think Kennen is not played is because his base damage is too weak. They also removed the AD I don't think this will fix him, and I still think he's not gonna be. He's still gonna be a meh champion. Okay, so Lucian, he gets a pretty big nerf. I'm gonna say this is a pretty big nerf. So this goes from 6 seconds to 3 seconds. That doesn't matter. Like, when are you gonna go E, auto, and then wait 6 seconds and auto attack someone? That never really happens. Usually when you're like using a spell, you're probably auto attacking someone. So this is, I don't think this is that big of a deal. But this one is a big deal. So say you're laning against someone, and say you do 150 damage with auto attacks. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna go, basically you do 150 damage. Well, yeah, you do 100 damage, and then you use your light slinger. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna do 150 damage before. Now in the laning phase, you did 150. Now you're gonna do 130 up until level 7, and then you're gonna do 140. So 20 damage less. You know, that's kind of like a big nerf. And since you're doing EAA, as let's say you're doing EAA, QAA, you're gonna be losing, let's see, from 300 damage to 260. So you're losing 40 damage, theory. But this only happens in laning phase because it stops at level 13. So basically, he's still going to be really good mid game. His late game isn't the greatest. Like, there's better late game, but you know, he's still good. I honestly thought he was in a good place, but apparently they thought, you know, they had to do some more tuning to him. And will Lucian still probably be top 80 carry? Probably, but there might. I think Graves will be better than him with this change. So yeah, I think Graves surpasses them, maybe, just maybe, because you already see Graves already. So yeah. So Nocturne now gains massively increased movement speed when moving towards feared targets. I mean, if this said when moving towards tethered targets, I'd like it, but if you already feared them, you probably, I don't know, you probably already are attacking them and auto attacking and not moving. You might be stutter stepping, but I don't know. I mean, against if you have Fiddlesticks and whoever else who fears, then sure, it's fine. But Shaco is also a jungler and so is Fiddlesticks, so that would never happen. There's someone else. Oh, Hecarim. Oh, no, yeah, mid Hecarim, that works. Okay, so no more level 1 dragon. I don't think so with this nerf. He can't get his Aegis protection that much, so his dueling is quite a bit weaker. And you know, I was looking at this nerf, and I'm not sure if it's big. I definitely know it's big for when trying to do dragon, but he is more of a spellcaster than auto attacker. So yeah, I mean, he throws Qs, Es. It doesn't affect him that much, and just like dragon and dueling 1v1. But I still think he's going to be Pantheon. The new jungle item fits him really well, and I still think he's going to be pretty good. He's probably going to drop from his 50% win rate to like 53 or 54, but that's probably about it. This animation tag frame is just saying like his auto attack is going to feel the same, but there's more of a delay afterwards. I think I'm reading that right. Hopefully I am. But yeah, so you could with the bone tooth necklace, it apparently had cooldown reduction. That means more wards, more sweeping. All right, so Sujuni, she gets like a big, massive tuning where all her damage is being moved to one thing. Okay, so I prepared for this. Basically, her Q does more base damage, but they remove the percent damage, but the percent is moved to here, but they remove the initial damage when you hit someone with when you activate it and use that auto attack enhancer. So they remove that, and that's gone forever. But what's going on is now okay. But I think that basically they moved that damage to here ish somewhat, and then this is moved to here. So I think her damage is all still here. But yeah, okay, I got this. So right here, this is what I'm looking at. So 40 damage, but now you're getting your total health. Let's say you have no bonus health because, well, you probably don't have bonus health at level 1. So 40 damage plus 4% of your health. Where's my calculator? So you're going to do 40. And then her base hit point at level 1 is so you're going to do 40. Wait, no. 0.4 times 600. Oh, I fucked up. 24 damage, 64 damage at level 1. Compared to the old 80 damage, so you're losing 16 damage. You know, it kind of sucks, but whatever. Also, what else was I supposed to say? But it scales better than the old one because you were getting bonus percent health, and you know, as you gain levels, it applies to this passive too, unlike this one. So yeah, and you also get 12% instead of 10%, so that's really good. When does it start? Like, I'd say, when does it start capping out? So let's say here, 70 damage. So at level 1 it's lower, but at 70 level 2, you're gonna have, let's see, you're gonna be level 3. You're gonna what was it? Okay, so you're gonna do 74 times 0.0. Sorry, I screwed up. There you go, and then you're gonna plus 70. So yeah, you are 114.4 versus 120 damage. So you're 6 damage less at level 3. So that's whatever. And you also might take health points, and you also probably have that mastery that gives you bonus health. So it probably, you know, equals out. Now let's see how much damage it does at level 9 compared to the old one. So we're trying to suppress 240 damage. So let's see. We have 1,240 times 12 plus 160 damage. So we're doing 60 more damage, not including masteries and runes or whatever, and items that you have. So yeah, this is better at late game damage at least. Okay, so yeah, that is pretty good. And also, okay, so you know how this is moved to this one? If we look, let's always assume that Arctic Assault is single target damage because you probably won't hit AoE since you stop colliding with them at level 1, or yeah, no, when you collide with them you stop moving, so that's a thing. So this is 11-second cooldown while this is 7, so this is gonna come up more often in the course of this. So you're kind of doing more damage of percent health on a single target, so that's kind of more damage for her. But right here is where she loses her damage on her E, but this only affects lane Sujani or AP mid Sujani. They actually nerfed it. I'm pretty sure you max this one out first because it's scaled by 50 damage when you're lane. So yeah, no more AP Sujani. Sad for Mr. Oink, I think. And yeah, but the best thing is that there's more CC. You can use this more often. 6 seconds from 11 seconds. That's huge. That's huge. You can probably perma-slow people for a lot, especially if you get cooldown reduction. This probably goes to like 4 seconds. So you can you can slow them every. I think this is huge. I'm pretty sure you're gonna see her more. What's her base mana? Base mana goes up. Pretty sure. Right here, this makes her a late game slowing machine. Holy crap. Okay, I think she's gonna be coming back. And oh yeah, less mana. Oh, okay. Okay, she's coming back. Shen, less energy cost. He's not coming back. Okay, so Shyvana. Cool. You don't max. No, you don't max Twin Bite second. You max Twin Bite last. So 10 seconds equals 9 seconds. For like level 1 to 14. So this, no, you don't like it. It's nothing, cause yeah, it's nothing. Right here, this is great. You could farm more in the jungle, but respawn timers are lower, so you're gonna have to do some counter jungling. I don't know. She was a top laner. Now she's gonna be a jungler again. Stalker's Blade is good on her. but I just feel like she's just lose. They nerfed her. I don't remember what they nerfed, but she just started declining and wasn't that great. Uh, I mean, she could be. No, I don't think she'll be good. Sorry about that. So Soraka, she's really, really OP. Um, this is a big hit. Soraka should be banned in solo queue because her shields are annoying and no one really knows that they should focus her. But yeah, right here, whew, this hurts her laning phase for sure, especially this base health regeneration. Like, she's just not going to health regen and be at lane bully, so yeah, I think she won't be as OP as she was before. I didn't listen to her tier list because I never knew how OP she was, but yeah, I think she'll be either 5th or not even in the tier list if I made her right now. Varus gets more mana regen. Woo, more Q poke. That's cool. And Warwick. Okay, so is this bad for Warwick? Definitely. This slows down his clears by a pretty decent amount. He'll still be good because he's Warwick and has high sustain. But what I don't like right here is this one. Level 6, he loses 100 damage on his ultimate, which is really a lot because 100 damage. You're losing 100 damage. This is really bad. But right here, it's 70 damage versus, or sorry, 420 damage versus 350. You lose 70 damage. That's nothing because you probably have Devour, Wits End, you know, all this stuff. So it's fine. It's fine at the late game, but his early game, ooh, got shit on. So expect the same thing in Pantheon. Drop to like maybe 52, 53%. It's kind of sucky. Yasuo gets a movement speed buff back from 340 to 345, and yeah, no. They nerfed his health. They nerfed his shield. Actually, they nerfed his base health, and when you nerf base health, the champions just suddenly go kind of bad, and yeah, if they don't buff that health or whatever, or give them some more free stats, like this one is just saying, okay, I'm gonna get more Qs, cool, and you know, it's just making him have rank 9 Q. It's whatever. I don't think he'll be good until they like buff some base stats. Now right here, Zac. Finally, I really want to get this done, but right here, Zac creates extra chunks for each additional champion he hits. I think he's gonna probably hit like, you know, 2 or 3 champions. So he's gonna make 1 chunk times 3 since he hit 3 people. Sorry, times 4. So that's 4 chunks, but they're really hard to get since they made them more, you know, fly everywhere. But this damage in season 3, I think, where he was dominant, finally this damage comes back. I'm so happy. 50 base damage is really strong. With this buff, I actually think he's going to be a jungler who's going to be playing in high elo and every elo with his base damage. So that's really good, and I think you'll be seeing him a lot more. This one is also really good too. So let's say you E in a gank, right? And then you're going to E behind them, and then you use your ultimate. Increasing this to 150 range, which is like a 175% increase on 250. I don't know, I'm not that great with math, but basically it's gonna knock them away from their tower more, so it gives you more room to damage them. And you know, with the buff to his W, that's going to be really strong too. So expect to see Zac, I swear to God. If he isn't, then I'm an idiot. And hopefully that is the end of it. Oh, turret gold, you know, turret gold, more outer turret gold. You get more rewards when you kill that turret. That's cool. I think this is oh yeah. So when you're going to your tower, you have to wait 1.5 seconds instead of 1 second. This is for Ignite and like Karthus ultimate or something, because people were kind of complaining about it. And now, there's gonna be, you know, more team fights, and it's gonna be, I think, a more penalty. Yeah. So I think it's a penalty if you die more, so it kind of sucks. And you get less experience when you kill a champion. So whatever. So just less snowballing. Okay. This is a bigger penalty when you die, and bigger reward when you CS. Oh god. I didn't read these changes. And so, oh, okay, fuck, I'm an idiot. Why don't I just read this? Just read this. Fuck. Yeah, they get tanky. They get tanky because Baron buff gives them that stupid buff. Okay, they just get less. And alright, so we're back. I actually didn't know there was more patch notes. I thought that was the end of it. So that's my bad, but I edited this in, so hopefully you guys are happy. So the first thing we're going to be going over is they slightly adjusted positioning of blue buff, red buff. So area effect abilities should now be consistent. Xin Zhao, when he E'd blue, he would only hit 2 or something, like 2 minions. But if he was on the other side and he hit the blue, he would like hit like 3. You guys get the idea. That wasn't it, but you guys get the idea. So this made it more consistent. Basically, what I want to be talking about is dragon. So, so fireball is treated as a spell. That means no more Pantheon. Oh, okay. So disregard what I said about Pantheon and like tanking it because you can't block it anymore. You can only spell shield it. And yeah, so right here, dragon will always finish his attack before switching targets. This is like the biggest one. So what this means is basically, this is really big because people would do dragon at level 5, 6, 7, like really low, because they could like juggle it. They'd always turn the dragon and then they would attack it, like, and the dragon would do basically no damage, so there was no penalty for them doing dragon. But now with this in effect, this right here, no dancing, no whatever, there's going to be less emphasis on dragon. And especially like, let's say you're a team who's ahead, you'd probably start the dragon. If the enemy came to contest, well, it didn't matter because the dragon wouldn't be punishing you for doing it. So there's going to be definitely a lot less dragons at like, yeah, it's going to come up more mid game for sure. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Like, dragon is going to be really risky to do with this here. Baron is also less, so 60 seconds less. No more sieging for 240 seconds or 4 minutes. You can only siege for 3 minutes. Yay! I guess. I don't know. I don't really care. It's also tough to deal with a Baron buff team because they can just do like 3 split pushes and, you know, come up on top. Finally, they fought KK. So this is the big one. This is why you need the first dragon. Well, used to. Now it's not a big emphasis, but it's still there. This is why you need the dragon, because it gives your team more attack and damage and just be more snowbally. So let's say you have 100 AD as Lucian, whatever. Now you have 106 AD. That's a free. That's half a longsword. You get how much does longsword cost? 360. You get 200 gold worth of stats for getting the first dragon. Plus ability power. So hybrid characters, yay. So you get 200 gold worth of stats if it's including your base AD, which I think it is. So that's really good. That's really good, and that's why it led to snowballing when you had the first dragon, which was really strong. Now this one, so you do 15% damage more to turrets, and you do 15% damage to minions and monsters on the 4th stack. They switched these around. They switched this around is what they did. So this used to be at the 4th, and this used to be at the 2nd. Before, I guess what would happen is junglers could clear the camps faster, and you could get waves pushing more faster when you had the 2nd dragon. So it, again, more pressure onto the enemy. You could farm faster, like more snowballing. Now all this benefits is you just sieging, and you know the first one is what you really want. The second one doesn't matter unless you're doing some split push stuff. I don't know, but in solo queue this means shit all. This means shit all for sure. Yeah, unless you're playing really organized or whatever. So this one, you know, 5 to 6 seconds. You know, you take less damage from the creeps, or you take more damage because the stun it requires more hits to stun. Whatever, I don't care. Sustained junglers will still be OP, and you don't really need this. So the Gromp buff. This is a later scaling buff, which is cool. It see at level 1 it's 12 damage. Yeah, 12. And this, okay, it's scale. It's definitely a buff. So yeah, if you want faster clears, get this toadstool. It's does more damage. Okay, so right here, this is kind of cool. Conservative stacks are kind of back. So basically, what's going to happen is people doing Gromp and Golems, they don't get 10 gold. They don't get 10 gold as they did in patch 4.20. Only we do. That's great, I guess. Because I don't like that cheese. I really don't like that starting bottom camps for the 80 carry and support. Now this one, I'm liking it. I'm really liking this one. We get I think we get, wait, this is for machete. I'm not sure if we get 30 gold, but I'm pretty sure we just get 20 gold per large jungle monster. So yeah, I think this is like a step towards, as I think what people were saying was like, I don't feel as powerful as a jungler. I want to feel like I can like carry my team or whatever. So this helps. And yeah, I mean, if you guys saw my Kale video, I was like 2-0-5, and then I couldn't really do anything for my team because I didn't have enough gold or whatever. So this helps. I really like that. So bringing back Negatron, same stats and stuff. It's back for like Guardian Angel, Abyss Scepter, 100 more gold, 5 magic resistance. I think this is is it a buff? I have no idea. I don't really care. I never really buy Guardian Angel, but I think it seems like a nerf for 100 more gold. I'm not sure. Don't take my word on it. Right here, Unchanged, Negatron is back. People are happier because you can execute minions harder and faster. Right here, it gets stronger. And yeah, you can execute minions at 400 health. Everyone gets happy. No more kind of like aggravating, hitting the enemies, you know, trying to last hit it, whatever. Ooh, this one, it hurts so much. And if you guys watch my video of what to buy on junglers, now you actually have to think about what you have to buy, and then it's going to be more situational. In fact, with this gone, I think Stalker's Blade will be the... Wait, where is it? Okay, it's not here. I guess they need to change. Stalker's Blade is going to be like the new thing, unless you're like someone who actually has trouble doing the jungle, then you'll probably go to Trailblazer. Other than that, yeah, Stalker's Blade is probably going to be the new thing. Poacher's Knife. It's just, I think it's just a tooltip thing. Yeah, it still sucks dick. Don't get this item. So right here, this is what I'm looking at. So to do 162 damage over 3 seconds, I don't know. This one's... I don't like it, because this is only on basic attack still. So I really don't like this. I don't think it'll be good. I mean, sure, you get the 20% reduced damage, but I mean, if you are going to duel someone and he wants to, and you know, if he's dueling you and you have the skirmish to saber, he shouldn't fight you in the first place because he's doing 20% damage reduced to you. So I don't like. Who is this only good on? Yeah, it was only good on Warwick. No, this sucks ass. Don't ever get it on anyone. I think. Yeah, this sucks. Don't get it. Nerf. So who does this affect? Kale, Warwick, Zinzao, a lot of junglers actually. You know, having 40 damage at level at 10 minutes was pretty strong, and so you got to farm up a bit. I'm kind of down for this, but I mean, yeah, if it was 30, I'd be more like, you know, lenient and saying I like that, but since it's 25, it just kind of makes me like think Feral Fire junglers aren't. I don't think they're as great as they were in 420. Now they're kind of like 25. If it was 30, I'd say yeah, they're all good, but 25 maybe. I'm gonna still test. I have to test it in this next patch. So right here, more mana regen. Woohoo! The Athene actually got the Chalice items actually got a nerf when preseason came out, because it didn't seem like they were restoring as much mana as they did before, but that's why they're fixing this. So that's why you were seeing people getting Morello's Con. That's why you saw like Bajirkson go double Morello Con, because the mana gen for that was really powerful. And yeah, so that they're just tuning this a bit to be more better. Same thing here, and nerf. Oh, it was a yeah, it was a multiple 5. And that's basically it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm really sorry that it's really long, but hopefully you guys got the insight that you wanted, and we'll see you next time.